Hello and welcome to the September edition of Smartabout in the UK, and today I'm in Derbyshire. This is Manor Park at Glossop. We're going to have a look round Glossop a little bit later, but first of all we're going to go to a disused railway line in the Buxton area. We were driving through the Derbyshire countryside when we saw the sign for a car park, and we'd been waiting for a comfort break, and we also noticed a railway bridge ahead and thought there wasn't any railway around this area, so time to investigate. Also in the distance you can see a viaduct, so that did look like there'd been a railway there. There's other clues as we drove into the car park, like that station house, which was private now, privately owned. And then we discovered that we were on the Midland Line. Well, of course the Midland Line no longer exists, but Millersdale Station has been restored, and there's work ongoing to restore the goods shed at the other end of the platform. Trains used to come from St Pancras, London, towards Manchester, and at Millersdale Station people would change onto local trains to go into Buxton. This is now the Mansell Trail. It's very popular with cyclists, and it's the cyclists who are trying to stop the line being brought back into use. We're now living in an age where there just isn't enough rail for all the people who want to use the trains, and new lines are needed. Some of them are obviously controversial, as you know if you've been watching the news, but this kind of a line is a good local service. It would be nice if it was brought back. At the moment though, you can just come and have a look and see what's been going on. You can use the cafe, which has been built into the station building, and you can park here and see how they're getting on with the goods shed, which was due to be finished early 2020, but of course with everything that's happened it's running behind. Car park's huge, but it's still always full. We parked here for an hour, that cost us £1.50, and we had to wait to get into a space. Back in Cheshire, it's time for an ice cream, and at Backford Bells, they're still open. They have a special system for queuing, distance of course. They have one window where you place an order, and another window at the far end, left in your picture, where you pick up your order. And then halfway along the wall in between, there's a station where you fill in a form, and that's your contact tracing done. Backford Bells has got a decent sized car park. It's got some amusements for the kids that currently are closed due to restrictions, and you can see some livestock of various kinds, including ducks that lay eggs, and occasionally you will see the cows that produce the ice cream. Backford Bells Ice Cream Farm is on the A41 near to Chester. This is Glossop Brook, which runs through the middle of Glossop, and this is where we stayed on our tour of the Peak District. It's an interesting town, so let's take a look at that first. There's some really nice architecture. Everything seems to be built of stone, even the shops that would normally be modern. Brand new Marks and Spencers have brand new stone, but most of the buildings look quite old. I popped into Glossop railway station to see what the train service was like, and there are trains from Manchester every half hour in the week. On a Sunday when I visited, they were once an hour, and as you can see from the station concourse, there's quite a view. And a lion on the roof. This old building is Wetherspoons, as you can see, and it was the place where we went for breakfast. The Eat Out scheme finished in August, but Wetherspoons are one of the companies that carried on their own scheme into September. We were staying at this travel lodge only a few yards from Wetherspoons, but when we wanted a meal at night, I got out my Meerkat Meals app and I found there was just the one restaurant in Glossop Town Centre that had the 2-for-1 deal. Luckily, it was a Sri Lankan restaurant with an extremely interesting menu, and the decor inside was also most attractive, and the background music and everything. The whole experience was great, and I'd recommend this to you if you ever go to Glossop. Well, we're getting about this month and we're in Cornwall now. This looks like a place where there's plenty of fresh produce. They have their own cafe, but could you guess where it was? These are the Lost Gardens of Heligan, so let's look at the main feature, the gardens. They're set into a hill slope. There's lots of interesting foliage. It's a place you can walk around for hours, and there's outdoor refreshments as well. So let's just sit back and have a look round. Well, that's my look into the video archives for this month, but we're back in Derbyshire in Glossop. This has been our base for our trip around the Peak District, and this is Manor Park in Glossop. It's an interesting place with lakes, and the brook goes through the middle as well, and I was quite pleased to see some little miniature railway tracks, but not quite so pleased to find out that the train doesn't run very often, basically in the school holidays and at weekends. I was exploring some of the little bridges over the brook when I first saw some railway track, and of course then I had to go and explore and see where it went. And it actually goes around in quite a large part of the park, and there is a main station and it's a terminus where the locomotive will need to turn round and go back. So I must make a note to come back and see this when it's running in the summer. So it seems our trip to Glossop starts and finishes with Glossop Brook. Next month we're planning to go to North Wales, down the North Wales coast, so do join us then.